All right, I'm gonna be jumping around here. Okay, so let's go look at this dude here. This guy that the cops put $1 million bounty on. Don't you think it's funny that the police put $1 million out on somebody? I mean, that's unheard of. The police did it. It wasn't the public. It was the police. Okay? This story sucks and stinks like all the rest of them. So here, 3 and 33, and here's your 6 over here. Okay? So here's your 3, 6, and 9, whatever. Okay? Now, says the cops offered $1 million reward. That's really interesting. He had a 6,000-word manifesto. Come on, guys. There's no reason to tell you how many words were in it, especially when you round it off. Okay? Here, they used a drone. Okay, those things that they're using on civilians overseas. Well, now they're using them on our guys because these type of bullshit stories just set the precedence for what's going on. So supposedly he got caught in a cave yesterday, or I mean a cabin, and they burned it down. And it's really stupid because you can hear the supposedly they had a gunfight and you could hear it live. Well, you know, that's bullshit because when the police are going to do something like that, they use a frequency that nobody has knowledge of, so that the bad guy doesn't have a police scanner and listens to where you're at. So that's bullshit, number one. Here's the picture of the cabin after it burned down. Where's the cabin? Well, because that's a hole in the ground. Okay? Now, I don't know if that's a missile strike or if that was the laser or what, but that's a hole in the ground. Alright? So, let's move on here. You know, this story is happening on a bunch of different levels. So we get here. Now, this guy's name is Dorner, okay? Now this is where it starts taking an occultic turn. Mithraism was what was before Christianity, okay? Now it's interesting on this collection of works and new essays. It says, finally I am relying on the accuracy of the orientation of Dorner's Site Plan 23. Remember 23? That's death, remember? Start this up over here and look at this. Remember this? Now to those who choose to listen, even as we announce this, ours is quite a quiet voice in the wilderness, and this is all right. We want members of the station to know that the new station 23 has a web space. It doesn't say website, it says a web space of greater realization of said project on KOFT DATH. And it just goes on to say 23. We invite you to stop by, and then there's a splicing. That means a splicing, a place where various entities come together. New Station 23 and the coming keepers of the fire death. Now, this guy's name is Dorner, yes? There it is there. Then you got to explain who made this picture. Because it says right here, the keepers of the fire. And here's this guy, riding black, being black, that being representing Saturn and the judgment. Okay, so let's move on here. Let's just take a look at this. So I outlined it's page 303. This is celestial. Dorner's Site Plan 23. Okay? Fortunately claims blah, blah, blah. Venus, Jupiter, and Saturn and Leo. Leo's the lion. The astronomical and astrological matrix. So we got, here it is here, Dorner's Site Plan 23. This was written in 2004. Dorner's Site Plan 23. Here's the Super Bowl. Here's the guy making angels in the number 23 with Yahweh, and that's all from the abyss, and that represents Saturn, the star of the abyss. Now, I got that from this from a book that I was reading on. Shows you right here. I'm relying on the accuracy of Dorner's Site Plan 23. So this is a story that's happening in the stars. It's happening down here, and it's just like this kid. Remember this kid? The kid that we don't know if he exists or not. Chiron, which was a place where Saturn sits in comparison to other planets and moons and stars. You know, and here you can clearly see, if you look at this, That's a hexagonal shape around the outside of it, right? So you got a circle and a square. That's a soul. Now, this is interesting. Remember I showed you this, the Sandy Hook thing? Remember I showed you, if you look at this, this has depth to it, because you can see the reflection of the door over here, in here. See it? Or if I overlap them, if we do this, see it? That's interesting because it's a shadow, and when we go and we talk about Mithraism, or whatever it is, let me find the picture. Here it is here. When possible, Mithraism was constructed within or below the existing building. These were the places that were secret. Mithraism is the worship of Saturn, which is partially what the basis of Christianity is based off of. But notice the shadow here, and the shadow in here. See, this is all tied together. What do we got here? It's interesting here that it says that you can listen to this on a police scanner. Well, I'm going to tell you right now, again, that's bullshit. That's bullshit because the cops would not be broadcasting on a station that you could hear, not only for security reasons, but for legal reasons. Because if anybody recorded that and something went down, it could be used against them in court for doing the wrong thing. Okay? Notice they used the word with the burn. Yeah? With the burn, which, you know, I mean, this, you can't write this stuff. With the burn. Keepers of the fire. Okay? The Guardian cannot verify the authenticity of this recording. Okay? The Guardian. Okay, let's go back to December last year. Rise of the Guardians. When the evil spirit pitch, you know what pitch is? It's fire and brimstone. Launches an assault on Earth. Well, is it evil, or is that just what mankind has coming for his fucking bullshit actions? And the bad guy's down here trying to tell you that the guy that's doing it is the bad guy. That's an interesting proposition to think of. Is it really an evil? Is it really evil? Or is it the evil ones here are blaming the guy that's doing it to us? Because we have it coming. So they're going to try and turn all of humanity against the Creator. You need to figure this out in your heads. And you're going to have to make a stand. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have to make a choice. This is supposedly where the cabin is. We went through this in the very beginning. Isn't this interesting? Where is it? It's gone. It's a hole in the ground. Okay? This started in the stars. It made its way down here. It's being played out. Time is speeding up. They're trying to cover it up. They're trying to keep everybody busy. And obviously, you know, with this whole gun agenda, that's also a deterrent. But it's almost like they're so worried about something happening in the future, not against a military uprising, but something else. Wouldn't it be interesting if all of a sudden we just wound up in another time? And everybody had guns, and then that would throw the timeline off? I don't know. I'm just saying. It's, you know, just a thought, because they find spark plugs and pictures of airplanes and all kinds of stuff thousands of years ago. Maybe that's what happens. And maybe they know that, and maybe they don't want the timeline off. Because if there's too much evidence, people will start figuring out, and eventually, if it happens enough times, man will finally figure out a way to put a stop to it, i.e. the broken machine. These are just thoughts, theories, and conjectures. I have no evidence other than my own thoughts and what you're reading and what you're seeing. You decide for yourself. I'm not going to be responsible for your spiritual reality. That you have to deal with. I'm telling you that there's something, when they show stuff like this, that's judgment. That's why he's wearing, he's black and he's wearing a black suit. That's judgment. Okay? So you got to figure out in your mind, is this the Creator doing this to us, or is this these guys doing it to us and telling us the Creator's doing it? You know, nothing is free. Everything costs. So let that be your responsibility.